2025 preseason is in the books for the New York Giants, which means the regular season is right around the corner. Before we get there, we got to cut the roster down to 53. So I'm going to give you my 53-man roster projection on today's show. But if you're ready for the regular season, you're done with the preseason, like I am, and you're ready to watch your Giants win football games again on Sunday, hit that thumbs up icon right now. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. My 53-man roster projection. This is my fifth one that I've done since I started working and covering the Giants for all the real ones here at Chat Sports. And this was the toughest one. There were some players here that I have said are going to make the roster that I just couldn't find a spot for. It's a numbers game. I wish everyone could make the team. But the fact is, all teams have to cut their roster down from 90 to 53 by Tuesday. Tuesday, August 26th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, all 32 ball clubs have to have, at max, 53 players on their roster. And we're going to be live on the channel for roster cut down day, so subscribe and turn those notifications on. Let's start on the offensive end. I think the Giants are going to keep three quarterbacks, and I think it's going to be these three: Russell Wilson, Jaxson Dart, and Jameis Winston. It's just not possible to keep four quarterbacks on the active roster. Tommy DeVito earned a roster spot with the way that he played football in the preseason. He was awesome against the Jets. He was really good against the Patriots as well this past Thursday. But he's just on the outside looking in. So what happens to him? If he clears waivers, I'm sure the Giants would love to bring him back to the practice squad. I would not be shocked if we see a Tommy DeVito trade before Tuesday. Maybe they trade Jameis and they keep Tommy, or they trade Tommy and keep Jameis. Something's going to happen with one of those two guys, and there's a world where Tommy DeVito never puts on a New York Giants uniform again. At the running back spot, I'm going with four players. Most teams keep three. But this man right here, Dante Turbo Miller, he has earned a roster spot with his preseason play. I thought you could have made the argument that he earned a roster spot last year. So I got Tracy, Singletary, Skattebo, and Dante Turbo Miller. Miller's got to contribute somewhere on special teams. We saw against the Jets he was able to do so on the punt coverage squad. Had a bad play as a punt return guy against the Patriots Thursday night. Ball bounced off his shoulder, fumble, Giants lost possession, ball stayed with the Pats. Not great there, but the speed, the elusiveness, the game-breaking ability, it's just too much to keep off the roster. I'm also going with four tight ends. And maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. I'm like trying to blend the idea of this is what they would do and this is what I would do. I just don't see how you keep Greg Dulcich off the roster. He was awesome in the preseason. 3 touchdowns, 2 against the Patriots, has a chemistry with Jaxson Dart. That's important to me. I think Chris Manhertz is going to stay on as a blocking tight end. And Thomas Fidone showed me enough as a 6th round, 7th round pick, whatever it was, to make this team. He's really athletic. He moves well. He's got great balance. The hands are strong. Had that contested catch 2-point conversion against the Bills. Almost scored. Got down at the 1 yard line against the Pats. These are more my 4 tight ends making the team. And that means Daniel Bellinger is not going to make the team in my projection, mainly because he's due $3.6 million right now. And the Giants, they only have about $3.6 million in cap space. And you could double your cap space by cutting him. Maybe they try to bully him into a pay cut like they did with Darius Slayton a couple of years ago. But I just think the end of the road might be here for Mr. Daniel Bellinger. The wide receiver spot was hard to figure out. I think Jalin Hyatt is safe, though. Nabers, Slayton, Robertson, Hyatt. I think all those guys are locks. And I honestly think the gunner Olszewski should be a lock. He earned a spot. He's able to return punts, return kicks. He's able to produce in the slot. He is your backup slot receiver behind Wan'Dale Robinson. I really debated and thought hard. Do I go Lord Jordan Humphrey or Ihmir Smith-Marsette? I could see it going either way. I wanted to put Bo Collins, but with the 2 drops on Thursday, I think he fumbled his chance to make this team. He'll be a practice squad guy for sure. But that last spot, I'm not confident it's Ihmir Smith-Marsette. Could be somebody else. Maybe it's Lil Jordan Humphrey. But I do think the top 5 guys of Nabers, Slayton, Robinson, Hyatt, and Olszewski, they're going to make this team. I have the Giants keeping 9 offensive linemen, including Andrew Thomas, Jon Runyan, JMS, Greg Van Roten, and Jermaine Eleumunor. Those are your starters. I got Marcus Mbow and James Hudson as my backup tackles, and I have Josh Ezeudu and Evan Neal as my backup interior offensive linemen, with Greg Van Roten kind of acting as your starting right guard as well as your backup center. So 9 guys there. Went between Ezeudu and Aaron Stinney. You could make the argument for either one. I elected to go with Ezeudu because he's younger. Stinney's already over 30. Ezeudu's still on a rookie contract. So that's where I kind of made my decision at that point. That's the offense. I have 26 players staying on the offense. We'll get to the defense coming up in a second. There was a real numbers crunch there with the Giants keeping 4 tight ends and 4 running backs in this video. But first, I got to tell you about our awesome sponsor, Prize Picks. Football is back. So is Prize Picks. Thank you for being a sponsor of this channel. Support them so we can keep them around. And now's the time because they have an awesome promo deal going on. When you download the app and you use the promo code CLNS and you play your first $5 lineup, they're going to get you $50 in lineups for free instantly. So download the app, create an account, use the promo code CLNS, or just go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, play $5. And you're going to get $50 in lineups for free. It's the #1 fantasy sports app. You can win big, up to 2,000 times your money. And it's easy. It's fun. And they always do awesome things to help you win, like setting Dak Prescott's stat projection in week 1 to half a passing yard. I hate rooting for the Cowboys, so I'm only rooting for him to throw for 1 passing yard. I think Malik Nabers is scoring week 1 against Washington, and I'm taking less on passing yards for Daniel Jones in week 1. If all 3 of these stat projections get a green check mark for me, I'm going to win 7 times my entry. You can also do a flex play where you must hit 2 out of 3. If you do the flex play and 3 are correct, you win 4 times your money. If you do the flex play and you get 2 out of 3, you 1.25x your money. It's a lot of fun. Create a lineup of 2 to 6 players. All you do is pick more or pick less. And the withdrawals, they're fast and they're secure. So you can get your money once you win. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, play $5, get $50 in lineups instantly. All righty, let's start on the defensive line for the Giants. Shocker here. I got Dexter Lawrence making the football team. No, that's kind of a joke, but it wasn't very funny. Robertson-Harris as well with Rakeem Nunez-Roches, DJ Davidson, Darius Alexander, and Elijah Chapman. These are the 6 that I'm going with. Didn't really think about adding anybody else to the final roster spot. I'm confident in these 6 guys. I wish Jeremiah Ledbetter would have got a little bit more of an opportunity to show what he could do. He's a really good run stopper, but these are the 6 guys that I elected to keep. I elected to go with just 4 edge rushers. I wanted to do 5. I wanted to put Trace Ford on this so bad. But it's like if you're keeping 4 running backs and you're keeping 4 tight ends, there's just not a spot for Trace Ford. So Burns, Carter, Kayvon, and Golston, all those guys are locks. Trace Ford played well enough in the preseason to make this team. Hopefully he clears waivers. I believe he will. He'll land back on the Giants practice squad, and I'm sure he'll play some regular season games. Just squeezed out of the 53-man roster. I didn't know where else to go thin. And with going heavy at running back and tight end, I already went 9 offensive linemen. I didn't want to go 5 receivers. Maybe the Giants go a little bit lighter than I did at the safety spot, and they keep him. I don't know. I think he's a prime practice squad and priority practice squad player for the Giants. At the inside linebacker spot, I'm keeping 4. Okereke, McFadden, Musau, and Board. Like, he played well enough. And they need a veteran there. He can contribute on special teams as well. So Board, I have him on my initial 53-man roster. I got 6 corners as well. Paulson Adebo, Drew Phillips, Cordell Flott, Deonte Banks, Trey Hawkins III. And I have Art Green making this football team. Came down to a couple of different players between Green. You got Corey Black as well, fighting for that final roster spot. Nick Jones had a strong training camp. He could play some slot. I just like Art Green a little bit better. That spot's up for grabs. Could be different, but I think this is pretty close to what that cornerback room is going to look like. I got 4 safeties as well, and maybe they only go 3 safeties here. Not because they're only going to have 3, but maybe because they're going to add one in the future. Holland, Nubin, Belton. I got Kayvon Wallace making that spot. I wanted to I thought about at least going with Raheem Layne. I thought Makari Page looked good enough as a UDFA out of Michigan to potentially be that guy. But I went with the veteran who spent time with Shane Bowen in Tennessee and started some games there, played his best football over Bowen. I think just the comfortability and the trust factor kind of just outweighed all my other thoughts on that spot. But I'm not 100% sure Wallace will be that fourth safety. And 3 specialists, Graham Gano, Jamie Gillen, and Casey Kreider. So that is your 53-man roster projection. Wish I could have kept Ford on there. I don't like cutting Corey Black. He's a rookie draft pick. It's tough, man. And for the first time in a while, the Giants have some tough decisions to make on roster cutdown day. And that's a good problem to have. I've also learned this. The initial roster projection that we're going to get next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, that's not going to be the same 53 players that suit up on week 1 versus the Commanders. There will be more changes, maybe a trade, maybe some cuts and more signings. The roster will continue to stay fluid. But based off the 53 players that I had making the team today, I want you to grade the roster for me, 1 to 100. 100, it'd be the best in the league. 1, the worst in NFL history. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram @MarshallGreen_.